We find ourselves in Westmoreland in Kent with Giles Whitehead. He's an artist who grew up on a small dairy farm in Tenderton and studied at the Kent Institute of Art and Design in Maidstone. Now, Giles has been a teacher and he is an artist, and the White Studios on Swan Street in Westmoreland shows his work all year round, and he gets involved with many initiatives as well. One of which happens every year and has done for quite a few years previously, is Southeast Open Studios, in which artists will open up the doors of their studios for 2 or 3 weeks, in which the public and other artists can come and see what it is they're making. It promotes community and conversation and inspiration. It's a really, really lovely idea. Now, Giles very often sends us monologues about life and his travels, and it makes sense this time that he sent us one about the Southeast Open Studios, because you know what? He's going to be opening up his own studio for it. So let's have a listen to it then. Giles Whitehead from Westmoreland in Kent.
Here I am outside the art studio. Maybe I'll repaint the front slats and window frames, but not too much. I want it to retain its weathered charm. I love the light at this time of day, in the late afternoon in May. The way the sunlight casts dancing shadows through the trees, on the door and through the windows, onto the walls inside. All the windows are made from old picture frames. The whole studio, in fact, is pretty much made out of recycled wood, saved from the brink. Part of my friend's and neighbour's summer house, part of my neighbour's fence. The thing is about wood, it's so easy to add and take away. It develops over time as an organic art form in itself. I like putting up new shelves and finding additional spaces and corners to utilise. It's that time of year when one gives the studio a spring clean, a spruce up, because soon I'll be inviting visitors in for Southeast Open Studios. Here we are in my little haven, where I can decorate as I please. 90% of the walls is covered in artworks, and in the windows are old Victorian bottles that I've dug up over the years. Small figures peek out of wooden boxes, and a mallet inscribed Bow Beach Wood Day 2016. And everywhere you look, paintings. Sculptures are like old friends peering down from high shelves, happy, bemused, or just a bit bonkers, like this crazy pianist with his fingers splayed out, ecstatically banging on the keys of the old piano. Jazz players, men with pipes and peaked caps, birds, frenetic pigeons and confused cats, a tennis racket with the slackest strings you've ever seen, an old rusty clock with no hands, a man holding some luggage, and a trumpet with eyes. My wife says that there's not enough room to swing a cat in here, but a cat has just wandered in. Now I am in the inner sanctum, which was the original old shed. Well, it was a solid shed, and I was reluctant to pull it down to make the studio. So the old shed became the storeroom. This area is out of bounds to the general public, for obvious reasons. It's an absolute mess. Oh, I'd forgotten about my sedimentary heads there. And look, there's the fossilised tap. Still one of my favourites, but no one's bought that one. I'm kind of pleased, but if anyone does want to buy it, I'll be pleased as well. And... ow! Yes, on the way out of the inner sanctum, one must remember that the door is more of a hobbit hole. And I must remember not to bang my head on the door frame on the way out. So, I need to arrange all the new paintings on the walls, and anything left over will go outside on various homemade hanging contraptions and plinths. If the weather's nice and the blossom is out, the garden will be gloriously adorned with paintings and sculptures. It's all got a sort of folk art feel, something you might come across by joyous surprise in the middle of nowhere America. My influence do come from far and wide, and travel has played a big part in who I am now. I've picked up various themes along the way. I'm trying to go for a more sunny Mediterranean look this year to cheer visitors up. Some town and seascapes based on my travels in Sicily. The good thing about painting pictures is that you can rearrange the world as you want it. And over here are all my jazz players. Inspired by a trip to New Orleans. The French Quarter in New Orleans was another place that influenced my artistic presentation of the world. A place painted by time, the weather, jazz and Mardi Gras. I had some jazz music playing last year which helped to create a nice atmosphere. I may do that again. Oh, look up there. There's a flock of sheep left over from the art fair. Well, I may have gone a little overboard with the amount I made, but sheep never go out of fashion. Oh look, the Dalek. Daleks are fun to make, but not sure it will fit in with this year's theme. Stick him in a box until a more appropriate time. There you go. And so, some sorting to do, but be sure, come June, this studio will be looking its eccentric best and will be welcoming visitors once more. But not just me. Little beacons of creativity will be opening up all across Kent and Sussex for this year's South East Open Studios.
Oh, there he is, Giles Whitehead from Westmoreland in Kent, an artist himself, and we heard all about Southeast Open Studios, which I think is a great initiative. Myself driving around Kent yesterday, I did see some of the signs by the roadside advertising it and got me very excited indeed. So let's welcome Giles in to talk about it now. Giles, thank you very much for being with us.
Hi, Leo. Thanks for having me on the show.
Always a pleasure. And tell us a little bit about Southeast Open Studios, Giles, and how you got involved in the first place.
Yeah, well, Southeast Open Studios is a very established open studios. I think it's been going since 1996. Oh. And when I returned to Kent, because I did live in London for about 5 years, now I saw signs for open studios like you've seen on your way to work. And I thought, oh, this looks interesting. And I picked up the booklet. And, you know, they have this lovely brochure, which has got, you know, little images of all the artist studios all around Kent and Sussex. And then travelled around Kent and went to the open studios, and I thought, yeah, it's a really nice thing, and it's so interesting to go around people's kind of actual studios and chat to the artists and see what they do. And so I was really interested in and went to it every year. When I, you know, gave up teaching and became a full-time artist, I thought, now's my chance. I'm going to do open studios.
Yeah. So tell me this then, as an artist, of course, you have your own style, you have your own inspirations, and when you are making a studio, as you have done, do you feel like it's important or something you want to have it in your own style and your own image that fits with your artwork?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's like an extension of my artwork, really, and so everything that I do sort of fits in, and because it's all made out of wood, it's very easy for me to move things around and put screws in to hang things up and then move shelves around. So it's very organic the way it develops over time. So I've done, this is my 4th year of open studios, and every year it sort of develops in a slightly different way.
It's very interesting. And art itself, as an artist, I'm sure you may attest, it can be quite an insular thing. It's your own idea. You spend a lot of time on your own working. And it seems to me, Giles, like Southeast Open Studios, with artists opening up their studios to the public and also to other artists, is a great idea, not only for the artist to be able to get some feedback and some conversation on what they're doing, but also if you're going to visit other places as either an artist or a member of the public, to be inspired by things that you may not have seen as well in inspirational places.
Oh, definitely. It's great that you start to sort of meet other people in your local area and, like you say, just get inspired and exchange ideas. When I do my open studios, I sort of open from 10 till 4, whereas lots of people open till 5. So what I would do at the end of my open studios is quickly pack up and then run down the road and then go and see the other artists and see how they've got on. And it just feels like a nice social thing, and you can sort of exchange stories about what's happened. So it's just a really nice thing.
We know that you're a very proficient artist. We know we can come and find you at Giles Whitehead Artist on Instagram to see your work. But also you've sent lots of audio into us as well about your trip to America and about your musings on life as well. So as an artist that is primarily a painter, it doesn't just rest there, does it? You can express yourself in so many different ways if you want to. I mean, it's audibly or on paper, and you do exactly that.
I have to have some sort of creative outlet, and that sort of makes me tick, really, and gets me excited about things. And because I do so many different types of things, so when you're, making a monologue, it's almost like you're sort of sculpting something, aren't you? Changing my medium quite often, it feels fresh.
What would you say, I love asking this question, I have to say, to all creatives, Giles. What would you say to anybody that's maybe listening that thinks, well, I may be a budding artist, I may be someone that wants to record a monologue or do a poem. What piece of advice, as someone that's done that many times, would you give to someone to actually get them from zero to at least a little bit of work, to actually get either recording or painting or writing, whatever it might be?
I think you've just got to start. You kind of feel a bit daunted, really. And once you start doing something or putting something down on paper or recording something, and you've got something you can listen back to or you can look at, then ideas come from there.
Yeah. I procrastinate, Giles, like there's no tomorrow. And then you get frustrated about doing that. Whereas it's the same as when you're at school, and to write an essay, you just have to start, don't you? I mean, you can rearrange the bookcase, go out into the garden, make as many lunches as you want. But until you start, you're not going to get anywhere.
You just don't know. You just don't know. And it's just filling that empty space. And then you've got something to work from.
Absolutely is. Southeast Open Studios is the event that's going on. Let us know then, how long it's going on for, where we can come and find you physically, and where we can come and find you online as well.
Starting this Friday, so I'm open this Friday. It's going from the 6th to the 22nd of June.
Yep.
So you can look on the website, which is www.seos-art.org. And on there, you can search your area and you can find out what's in your area, or you can look up specific artists. So there's a search option.
Yep.
I am studio number 1, so I'm easy to find.
Lovely.
I'm in Westmoreling on Alma Road. So once you get to Alma Road, you'll see the signs.
And we can come and find you on Facebook and Instagram at Giles Whitehead Artist, where much of your art is also there as well. Giles Whitehead, thank you so much, as always. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. And all of the best with Southeast Open Studios and beyond. Looking forward to having some more from you on Upload at some stage as well.
Brilliant. Thanks for having me on the show, Leo.
Always a pleasure.